Back in 1949, a 16-year-old kid sold feather dusters for 25 cents each in front of a gas station, being one of the only youth entrepreneurs in the town. His dad was already importing the product from Hong Kong, so he seized the opportunity and took some extra to sell. The way he convinced the station to let him sell there was by sharing a percentage of the amount he made, meaning they didn't have to take the risk of unsold product. But now if you can imagine how much money he actually made, selling feather dusters for 25 cents each and sharing his revenues with the gas station, it was 0 to none. But the difference he made for even just the people walking by that day would never be matched. Especially in that era, starting a business as a youth was unheard of. So what made the difference for him? What did that 16-year-old kid have that made the age barriers completely oblivious? The difference was that he had a burning passion for selling, the belief in himself and in his product, regardless of his age, the purpose of gaining experience, and the support and encouragement from his family. My grandpa was and is quite the businessman, a person I look up to, and one of the many people who inspired me 1 year ago as a 13-year-old to attempt to start an online apparel business, Akana, which is a mix of my two dogs' names. This past year has opened up so many new doors of opportunity, and as of this year, I'm officially a Teen Code Ambassador for Canada Learns Code. So I've been able to tie in both my code development skills and my brand to create a website where I can sell all the items I embroider online. I was also a vendor at 2 markets, one in July and one in August, being the shipyards, where I sold nearly all of my stock and over $700 worth of products in 5 hours to both international and local customers. But something that really caught a lot of their attention was my story. I was a scared and nervous 14-year-old, but with enough courage to be dropped in a sea of older people selling all types of different products. When I first arrived, I was definitely intimidated being the only youth vendor. But I remember telling my sister, I was going into the market with no expectations. As long as I got one purchase, just one, I would feel satisfied, which she made fun of me for. But I got over 30 purchases, nearly all of them consisting of more than one item. So that's where my first component comes in, belief. Historically speaking, youth haven't been particularly active in the business world. I mean, here and there you can find those success stories, or maybe see that one youth come down the hallway in Shark Tank. But to be honest, there really aren't many youth role models to follow. And because I didn't see anyone else around me start a business my age, why would I believe that I could do it? What was the difference for me? The only reason why I sold successfully at the shipyards was because I had a belief in my products and in my story. I didn't stop to think about what the age of the person beside me was, or what was considered the normal age. I wanted to be that person who initiated the spark of interest, even just for the people walking by in the market. Because I definitely can't say my business is huge worldwide and made tons of money. And although making money is a great perk, none of that really matters if you impacted just one person. So inspiring other youth is a huge part of the purpose of what I do. I remember one customer approached me, and he asked, "What's the purpose and message behind your brand?" Now, it was quite an overwhelming question at the time, but I certainly knew the purpose of why I started. When multiple people of a variety of ages approached me saying they were inspired by the business I ran, and the fact that I sold based on my passion to create something that they liked, that was all the satisfaction I needed. Not to reach a certain amount of purchases or a number, but to change someone's mindset on how they viewed a youth entrepreneur. And it's the fact that us youth work so much harder to ensure that we're taken seriously of just makes us stronger. I additionally donate 10% of all proceeds to the Vancouver General Hospital for cancer research, which is a cause that hits quite close to home for me. But something that really wanted me to start my business was my pure passion for it. I've always had an interest in communicating with people, sharing stories, and I really do love all aspects that business entails. And to be honest, I actually really enjoy handling the financial side and making spreadsheets. So shout out to Mr. Lee and Mr. Eakin for making me a nerd and love math. So let's get into the fun stuff, numbers. Here's some insight on how much the face-to-face interaction in August at the shipyards helped me with my yearly sales. So as you can see, there's just a little bit of a peak in August. But to be fair, from October to June, I was only selling through Etsy, which is like an Amazon for artisans around the world to sell their handmade crafts. And this is at the time when I only had one product, and that they were patches for $5.99. So in July, that's when I started expanding into different lines. But on an online platform, it is so much more difficult to get your story, your message across. Whereas in August, that was really when I got to showcase my love and my passion for everything that I do. So on an average, August compared to the other months was an increase in revenue of 1,324%. Just in 1 month and practically a day. And when I told my brother that, he asked, "Can you imagine if you went to this market every week?" But something that helped me feel really confident in myself, in my products, and in my story was the support from everybody around me. Support really is one of the most important aspects of running a business. My whole family came to visit my booth at the market. And my sister stayed for over several hours from setup to takedown. She was actually quite a great employee. Her and my brother would go around the clothing rack, pretend they were customers, while really loudly saying, "Wow, I can't believe you run a business at 14, wow." And my friend at the other Lonsdale market, she stayed for over 5 hours and without pay. She also bought 3 items and milkshakes while we were there. My grandpa told me to keep her as an employee. My oldest sister bought an item and left a nice tip in my college fund jar, while my dad took embarrassing videos and mom helped me make the stand look perfect. The vendors around me congratulated me, supported me, and welcomed me into their community. My teachers have provided me with opportunities I would never have thought were realistic. And also, support from customers can really impact your company in a positive way. Connecting with people, especially from all around the world, is something special, something that really does not happen every day. So usually when a customer buys something from me on Etsy, afterwards I tell them about my story, about my passion. And they always reply with a similar shocked comment, saying they didn't expect someone so young to do something that youth typically don't do. But I wanted to be that proof that age should not be a barrier in any way, shape, or form to become an entrepreneur. In fact, our youth should be celebrated. We have an advantage over others when selling. Our youthful and cute faces stand out amongst the vendors. So really, once our generation gets over the barriers that are more so in our minds, it puts us youth in the lead. All types of people sell all types of different products. But society is so set on a certain age or minimum age of an entrepreneur that youth is a new change we are all anticipating to see. So if you're someone with an idea, just remember that our age does not at all define our limitations or our ability. It defines the new, amazing changes that we're going to make. So just remember to ask yourself the question, what makes the difference for you? Thank you.